Hey, what's up? My name's Alexander. I'm the president of Measurable Genius. Business owners and entrepreneurs hire us to become scaling growth firms in their industry. I'm here with Chad Nicely with EverMentor. Hey, Chad.
Right.
Welcome. Tell us what you do.
So I am an online consultant, and I also own a software company.
Software company doing what?
So our focus is on e-learning, and then we teach our students and members to go out there and provide local marketing services to businesses.
Awesome. So this is a show dedicated to solving problems. We're just going to have a conversation about a problem. We're going to try to work through a challenge together. How's that sound? Okay, cool. So we're going to talk today about letting go. Can you share with me what that's about?
So letting go, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of business owners, they hold their creations, they hold their products, their services close to their heart. And so in order to grow, and in order to be your highest and best in business, you have to let go, you have to learn to delegate, you have to learn to let people in. But then you get to, just from past experiences, when you've tried to go out there and do that, it hasn't always worked out, or people have let you down, and then you say to yourself, well, you know what, this is something that I can do better myself. And so therefore you hold it close, and so you hit a plateau because you're not able to move forward in your business.
This is interesting for me because I have done this in my life, that's for sure. I've heard a lot of my clients also say, if it takes 5 minutes to delegate or 5 minutes for me to do it, I'm just going to do it.
Correct.
Or I can't delegate it to somebody because they're going to do a 6 or a 7 out of 10 and I need it to be a 9 or a 10 out of 10 or else it's not good enough.
Right.
Do you feel the same?
Yeah, most of the time. Yeah, I don't like waiting for 3 days for something when it could take me 5 minutes.
That's true. So is this a problem that you're struggling with or that it's something that you've been struggling to help your clients with? Like, walk me through, like, what's the predominant thing that you think is in the way of business owners letting go?
It's you want things to be right. Like people, business owners, entrepreneurs who really are heart-centered and really want to make a transformational value in the lives of other people, they want things to be right. And so they're not willing to sacrifice the community, the quality, they're not willing to sacrifice the heart that has to go into something. And so we just hold it close, right? And the truth is that most of our customers, most of our clients, they don't even see what we're seeing. Like, we're too detailed, we're too specific, we're too nickety-pickety, and you have to let go, or the truth is you're not able to move forward and impact more lives because you're stuck in that little bubble. And so, yeah, that's something I struggle with a lot.
Do you have team members that work with you?
I do.
Do you work in like a local office or are they remote workers? Like, tell me about your culture.
Both. So, like I said, we're a software company. So we have developers all around the world, India, Pakistan, Tunisia, Ukraine, Romania. But on top of that, we also have teams of graphic artists. We have our support teams, just different teams. So, but then I also have employees that actually show up at our office in our home like every day. So, yeah, we have the infrastructure there, but still there's parts of the business that no matter who says what, it's really hard to let go.
Do you find the things that are hardest to let go are the things that you're the best at or things that you just don't believe that other people are qualified to do? Like, help me understand what the common denominator there is.
The things, speaking for myself, the things that I don't want to let go of are the things that are going to have the most impact on somebody's life, right? If it's something like creating a brochure or a website or, you know, creating a survey or application, okay, look, anybody can do that if it's not the right color, if it doesn't have the right branding, it's okay. It's still going to work, right? But when it comes to, like, I'm very, very passionate about our platforms and our suite and everything else, and so very, very involved in it, and people are saying, look, you got to let go, you got to bring in a project manager to do that. I'm like, but that person, they don't have the vision, they don't take the time. Look, they're just going to go and build a software, they're just going to go build a platform. They're not actually putting themselves in the customer's shoes and going through the whole process and saying, okay, where is this person getting stuck? Where do they need it? How can I make this better? How can I make this flow better? You see, that takes somebody who really wants people to succeed, really wants to provide a transformational value in the lives of other people to take things to the next level. Gone through dozens of employees, still have yet to find that person.
Do you have any systems in place like the Rockefeller habits or business planning or meeting rhythm disciplines that bake culture into your organization? Like, do you live according to a set of defined values? How do you build your culture? Because here's what I'm hearing. Like, I study business leaders and organizational leaders, and one of the common refrains is that oftentimes people believe they're hiring people to take actions and that the actions represent the work, but in reality the human value is not in the action they take but in the decision that precedes the action. And so what we're really talking about here is finding people who make good decisions. Because actions are actions. Someone makes a decision, the actions are going to happen. But you make a bad decision and the action's going to be wrong. And so my question for you is, how do you foster good decision making? How do you give people parameters for good decision making? Is that baked into your culture? Is that part of your vernacular? Does that exist for you right now?
Well, no, I mean, maybe that's something I struggle with, and maybe that's what this is all about, right? I'm not saying I don't own it, I don't take responsibility for it, but what I'm telling you is that is probably the biggest struggle in our business is letting go, because I don't believe anybody can do it as well as I can and can put the heart and soul into it.
I hear you. Okay, so I do have a recommendation for you. You should check out a book. It's called Scaling Up, Mastering the Rockefeller Habits. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's by Vern Harnish. He is the president of the Gazelles Research Institute. This book is like 25 years old. It was originally called The Rockefeller Habits. Now it's called Scaling Up. It's a purple textbook. Have you heard of like Traction?
No.
EOS? Okay, these are like business operating systems. You're running a fairly sophisticated business. It sounds to me like you've got several dozen employees. So you want to check out the Rockefeller Habits. What it is it's a series of meeting rhythms and disciplines combined with a planning process that ultimately results in a sheet called the one-page strategic plan. The one-page strategic plan starts from the left to the right, from the most macroscopic all the way down to personal accountabilities. And what it helps people like you do as the visionary and the business owner is bake culture into the organization. And what culture is effective decision making. Because most businesses are praising and reprimanding employees by governing behavior. And I'm sure you can relate to this. You're trying to make sure these people do the right, predictable things. And you're constantly disappointed when they appear to not do what is obvious to you. Is that what I'm hearing? Like your project managers, you're like, they don't seem to care enough about the customer, or?
I don't know if it's always predictable. A lot of times it's always a matter of just putting the extra effort in, giving it 110%, making sure those T's are crossed, those I's are dotted, not just getting the job done, right?
Not just the minimum criteria.
Correct.
Okay.
And so that's hard when you're not an owner of the company. And first of all, a lot of my employees do own a part of the company,
yeah.
Right? I'm fully vested in them. But it's still hard when you don't have as much vested as I do, right? And so, yeah, it's a struggle getting them to go all in like that and going above and beyond the Call of Duty.
That's true. I wrestle with that too. And I don't think it's possible to get a 100% hit rate. But what I have seen is that organizations that choose to apply these disciplines, which you can just go read the textbook and figure it out, or you can go to workshops or whatever.
Right.
But what I have found is that the key to getting buy-in is having line of sight. And that every employee has their own like time and space horizons. Like some of them are sort of day to day, some are week to week, some are month to month. You as the CEO or the visionary, like you're out there 3 to 5 years out. You can see all the way out to the horizon. But some of the people in your company are just thinking like, how do I solve this coding problem tomorrow? How do I meet my deadline? Do you guys do like agile development, or what is your development process?
We've done Scrum, we've done different things, but I mean, we have our own custom development now that works really well, our process. But what I'm getting at, for me, it's more of a mindset thing.
Yep.
It really is, right? It's a matter of releasing whatever it is I'm holding on to, realizing that when it comes down to it, look, we're a marketing company. We're not putting freaking people on the moon, right? And so that's a pride thing, and that's a matter of letting go of that, because we're really not as important as we think we are. Do you see what I'm saying?
100%.
Yeah, and so that's me owning that and being able to release that and let go of that and say, look, even if somebody screws up or doesn't meet my expectations, or something takes 2 or 3 days longer, hey, that's time I got to spend with my girl or be out here with colleagues on a boat,
yeah.
or something else. So there's a lot of value to that too, right? Yeah. So I mean, that's a show for another day, but yeah.
I think the thing is too, but I hear you beating yourself up a little bit, and I think that like you would let go if you had evidence to support the outcomes that you're wanting. Like it's a bit of a chicken and egg conversation, right? Because you're wanting to take ownership, and you're like, I know that this is about me, and I know that it's my challenge internally, but there's another side to it, which is if you had those results happening, you'd be more likely, because of those results, to let go to begin with, right?
Yeah, well, so here's the thing. I don't think when you're as committed to your business as I am, there's very few people that are willing to go to that level. And so when that happens, that is a mental obstacle. So I don't put that on my employees or my staff. I come back and I put that on myself, right? And that's something that I have to let go of. And I don't know, truthfully, if there's anybody that could meet my expectation. You know why? Because they have balance in their life, right? They know, okay, I got to spend time with my wife, my kids, whatever, right? They have balance. And then you'll meet very few people who are like all in 110%, and that's like, you know, my kids are number one, I got God number two, right? Or kids number one, God number, whatever it may be, right? But still, like, I'm all in, and it's really hard to find people that are going to be at my level. And so that's a mindset thing, and I have to realize that, and nor should I expect that, right? But that's a real struggle, and I'm not the only one that deals with that.
100%.
Right?
I think a lot of business owners wrestle with this. I still think though that if your employees have line of sight, if they have buy-in, if they've got a way to see how their daily actions are aligned with the outcomes and the mission of the organization, if they can see how their personal accountabilities line up with the quarterly objectives, which line up with the one-year initiatives, which line up to the 3 to 5 year thrusts, which align with the core company values that you've clearly described, that you'll see a much higher degree of emergent leadership. I think that you can cultivate that. It's a skill, it's a culture you can actually take action on. And because there's very few organizations that pursue that to begin with, there's not a bunch of people out there talking to a camera being like, did you know culture is something that you can train? Yeah. Did you know that it's something that you can equip people with? Yeah. And I think if you check out the book and you were to give the one-page strategic plan a try, and you were to take that plan to your team and say, hey, team, listen, we spend a lot of time doing these project meetings. We spend a lot of time talking about what we're building. And we spend a lot of time talking about our customers. Right. But what we don't spend a lot of time on is showing you how the things you do every day align with the greater mission and vision of this organization and what's meaningful and important to you. Because you're the visionary, and it's your business. And it really serves you. This is a vehicle for you to take what's important to you and bring it to the world in a bigger way. Right. And when they have line of sight on that, it gives them the decision-making criteria that they need to feel like, oh, I can be initiating, I can take action, I can make decisions. Without that line of sight, they defer decision making to the people that they perceive to be an authority, and that puts all of that weight on your shoulders. And so it's an intermediary. It's not going to cure the problem, it's not going to fix necessarily your mindset, but it's a tool that we can use as business owners to sort of put all of it on one page so everybody can be on the same page. Cool. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah. I encourage you to check it out. I'll do that. Is that helpful at all? Yeah. Very good. Okay, cool. Thanks for being here. Chad Nicely, Alexander Ford, thanks for watching, guys. It was good to have you.